And we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to CoVA Sports TV. We have a special guest with us. He is the head football coach in his second year at the helm of the Frank W. Cox Falcons in Virginia Beach, getting ready for that season opener against the Lansdowne Eagles later this month. He is none other than Tyler Noe. Coach, good to have you on the program. How's the summer been treating you and your family?
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been treating us well. We've been down to Hatteras like we do every year for a week after our dead period, so that was good. A little 2-week hiatus from football, but it's a little different when you're the head man and you got to really think about things the whole time you're down there. But it's good and relaxing down there. My mom, dad, sister, brother-in-law, 2 nieces and nephews, my wife went down there. So it's always good to just go down there and relax a little bit before we get back into the thick of things up here.
Okay, good to hear. Well, and we'll get into your background, too, for those that aren't familiar with you. We know for many years you've been an assistant coach there at Cox High School with Coach Stack, and then Coach Alan Faneca, Pro Football Hall of Famer. And now you've taken over. Great first season. You guys had a lot of heart-stopping wins, the tough playoff loss to Kempsville. But for Coach Young that's not quite familiar with the background of Tyler Noe, what else is he doing besides football? Are you football 24/7, 365, or do you have other hobbies, interests, other sports that grab you as well?
Well, I grew up in Virginia Beach. I'm an avid fisherman. I've fished my whole life. It's funny because when my mom was telling me, years ago that when I was a baby, they put me in my high chair or my car seat and wedged it in between 2 seats in the boat. So, I've been on the water my whole life. I'm an avid Orioles fan, so I did not like your take on that, Coach Young, about the Yankees going to the World Series. So grew up a Cal Ripken fan, Orioles fan my whole life. Watch baseball with my dad. He's a big Red Sox fan, but we go at it here and there throughout the season. But other than that, I teach special education at Cox. This is going to be my eighth year teaching, my 14th year coaching up at Cox.
All right, good to hear. There you go. Eddie's an O's fan, so he's hoping they can break your hearts and stomp on you come playoff time and get to the Fall Classic. Maybe play my D-backs instead of your Yanks. That'd be great.
I mean, I found it's a tough time being an Orioles fan. We had that 1 year, 2014, when we won the AL East, and now it's heading in the right direction. But I think they're headed skid right here. They got to get over the slump here. There might be something going on in the clubhouse, but they're going to get over it. Brendan Hyde's a great manager, and they got some good young talent there. They're gonna get over this.
Yeah, a lot of guys we've watched with the Tides, from the Hendersons and Rushmans to Mountcastles and so many more. Cowser's been a great story, and getting Corbin Burns to be the front man of that rotation has been vital for them, considering how it is with pitching nowadays. As Ed just shakes his head in disgust. What was even better, though, Tyler, was when he had to go up there for that Sunday game in the heat, and you guys broke the hearts of the Yanks on that ninth inning. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Always a great time.
Yeah, great.
Okay, all right. First of all,
great time when the Yankees lose, especially to the Orioles.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thanks for coming on, Tyler. You're another young dude that I got to learn. I got to learn all these young dudes. I said the Orioles it's the second best team in baseball. They're very good. I love watching the Oilers. They make great moves. I said they're going to win the division.
I did hear that.
I picked them at the beginning of the year to go to the World Series. I really did. Of course, I want my Yankees to go because I want to be able to knock this knucklehead, whichever way I got a point, to beat his Diamondbacks, who were once the best AAA team in baseball, and now they are fighting for that playoff spot. And he says one of the best divisions in baseball. See, this is why he's in the water too damn much, because he's getting brain waterlogged. But yes, I do like the
over there.
I won't say a lot of negative about the Orioles, and more than likely they'll probably have a better shot at World Series than my Yankees. But I'm still hoping and praying, and I'm going to get back to watch now I can go root for the Orioles whoever they play. I like to go back and watch another game or two during the summer. I always want to see when they play with the Yankees, sit on the Yankees side, but I don't root against the Orioles. But some of them Yankee fans are absolutely ruthless.
Ruthless.
Yeah, they're crazy. But Tyler, before we get into the match, we get back to you on a couple other things. I also, not knowing you, let's go back to your high school days. Where were you at in high school? Did you play college, and then your early coaching opportunities right up until where you're at now?
So I went to Cox. I graduated in 2006. I played baseball and football at Cox, and I went to James Madison University. I didn't play football. I didn't play any sports. I just wanted to be a student. And then when I graduated from JMU, I was working at Bayville Golf Course. I drove by the football fields one day, and I've always wanted to get into coaching or get back into sports one way or another. I've been playing since I was 4 years old. And I went up to the field. The football team was practicing. I walked over. Coach Stack was out there, and So they needed some help with the JV level. So I started out as a JV offensive coordinator. Really found my love for the game then. The next year I got promoted to JV head coach. I was JV head coach for 2 years. We went 11-1 in the 2 years that I was the head JV coach. And then that following year, it was Cole Johnson's junior year. That's how I keep it all going. Cole Johnson's junior year, I got brought up to varsity to be the quarterbacks coach and special teams coordinator, and that's where I've been ever since. Well, I was the offensive coordinator for Allen for a year, his last year, and then got promoted to the head coach the following year.
Some pretty good stuff there. As we talked with Tyler Noe, head football coach at the Cox Falcons, and looking over your squad for this year and the info we got back from our surveys. We appreciate that from you. You did graduate a monster piece for you in Gerard Johnson, who's now at Virginia Tech. I'm sure he'll be sorely missed, but you return a lot of components, both sides of the football coach. We can start, I guess, with the offensive side of what you're looking for this year. And it feels like that continuity, that chemistry you have on the field, you guys as a coaching staff, and being in so many tight games can benefit you for this coming year. Do you feel that way as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Gerard, it's a big, tough loss for us. And then another one big for us is Gage Treffry, our quarterback, 2-year starting quarterback. He was just picking up the triple option towards the end of the season when we switched it after our Tallwood game. But we have great returners. We have Tyree Jeffries coming back, our starting running back, who was a freshman last year for us. Gio Simmons played slot for us. Carter Rodriguez played slot for us. Hudson Bartley, Lyman, started 3. This is going to be his 3rd year starting. Hudson Lyon, our left guard, started for us. We have a couple young guys. We have a young sophomore lineman, Isaac Tomas, who we expect big things out of. And we have some good receivers. And Sear McCarter, he's going to play both ways for us. Bray Lyons, he's going to be really our tight end, sniffer back. Then he's going to be defensive end. He's going to pick up right where Gerard left off last year for us, which we expect huge things out of Bray. And then our quarterback position, we got two guys that can really play the quarterback spot. So that's going to be what we're going to look at heavily in the camp, and then our 2 scrimmages, and then leading up to Lansdowne. Like I told them and the coaching staff, we might not make a decision on quarterback till the week of Lansdowne game, just because they both have great parts. They're both athletic. They can, they both have their different quarterback styles. But if we can really get those 2 working, I think that we're going to have some great things with this offense this year.
Well, and to follow up on that, and I'll let Coach Young jump back in here with that triple option. I saw you guys late in the season, that game against Killam, where you guys ran the ball at will, and you had 2 backs that really started for you late. Josh Walton, I know, was one, and then Tyree Jefferson, you mentioned as a freshman, ran for about 600 yards, I think it was, 5-6 TDs. Just do you feel like the confidence in having that in sync with the running game, the linemen as well blocking for it, that you don't see it as much anymore? It's funny, we talk about all these spread offenses. You see all these things now, people going 4 or 5 wide. You don't see as much wing T triple option, and that's something that it's so hard to prepare for in a short week. And if teams haven't, repped it as much, it's going to work to your advantage in a game where you can wear people down.
Yeah, so we ran it when I was on staff with Coach Stack. We ran triple option, and our biggest thing, we tell our kids all the time, we're not going to be the biggest guys out there. We're not going to be the most athletic teams who play on the beach, but we know that. So run triple option lets us have our smaller linemen, and we leave 2 guys alone. So then it's 11 on 9. The offensive line coach, Wayne Wallace and John Camper, they're back together. They've been line coaches at Cox for a while, and we got it humming with the line. And that's what it's all about, is offensive line, high school level, college, pros. If you don't have a good offensive line, you're not going to do much of anything, run game or pass game. But like you said, our 2 back situation last year with Josh and Tyree, Josh ran for, I think, 245. I think you told me that after that game. He needed 10 more yards. If I would have known that, I would have kept him in to get 10 more yards to be the all-time leading rusher at Cox in a single season or a single game. But we got Tyree Jeffries. We got Jawan Mack, who plays linebacker for us too. But we also have a couple guys that we're looking at that can fill some downs if both of them are a little beat up or tired for running triple option so much. But triple option, it's just like you said, nobody runs it around here. We've been the only school, I think, over the past decade or so that's run it. And the coaching staff, we know like the back of our hands. When we switched to it after the Tallwood game last year, it re-energized the coaching staff and the kids. We weren't productive at all last year, offensive wise, before we switched over to triple option. We just didn't have an identity. I was trying to bring over stuff that we had from the guys the year before when I was offensive coordinator. But when we switched back to triple option, it really it saved our season, I would say. And I think it's going to keep on going from here.
We're talking with Tyler Noe. He's the head football coach of the Cox Falcons. Season opener just 26 days away for them as they take on the Lansdowne Eagles at 7:57 Saturday Sports Talk here on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also comment with us, chime in wherever you are tuning in here all over the web, Ed.
Tyler, I'm real interested to listen to your take on your triple option. I've seen a lot of the college teams run it back in the old Southwest Conference. A lot of teams would run that. Oklahoma, Texas, all those teams back in the day ran it. And you say you don't see it much on the high school level. Is it the fact that it's just hard to teach, hard for players to comprehend? And again, I'm a basketball coach talking football. And by the way, I think you remember I helped Stack win one game.
Oh, here he goes.
When you guys were 4th and 1, and he ran the end around play. Remember that from young. I told him not to give me no credit. I don't want no credit from
He's also the reason you probably got chewed out 3 or 4 times from Stack. So, yeah, blame him as much as you credit him. So,
well, it takes the one. You don't have to use it
3 or 4 times. But I love Coach Stack to death. But,
Yeah, Stack going to fuss you out even if you win, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, he is.
Right. It doesn't matter. But no, in all seriousness, I would think, this is me, again, basketball coach talking, and you made a great point. If you don't have a line in any level, especially high school, you forget almost anything. You just go play defense because you're going to be on it most of the night. I would think the triple option for linemen would be hardest because there's a lot of movement, and who do you hit in that movement scheme? Because on the triple option, either the quarterback is keeping it, or he's pitching it, or he's throwing it. So those options for the linemen could be tough to read because while they're moving, they got to be hitting people. Go a little bit more in depth and learn me a little bit more about that triple option.
So, if we run triple option, we leave 2 guys alone. We leave our run key alone and our pitch key alone. So the linemen know who not to block. That's the key right there. Is they got to know who they're not blocking. So there's a lot of double teams that turn into, when we come off, we go to the backer, but they know who they have it every time. That's Coach Wallace and Coach Camper really hammer home on that. But the biggest thing is knowing who we're reading, because there's nothing that gets me more teed off than when we block the guy that we're supposed to read. You can ask some of our linemen from last year when we first put it in. They kept blocking the read key. They just didn't play. If they block our read key, they're not going to play. But that's the key thing right there is knowing who we're reading every play and who we're leaving alone, because we're always leaving 2 alone. So it's always 11 on 9. So we're always double teaming at least 2 people. And I say that we're not many high school teams run triple option because it's hard for some of the kids to buy in. Everything's more spread around. I love the pass ball. I played quarterback, but I know what we have at Cox High School and what we have to do. And the key is having our slots and receivers buy in. And we have a former player, Jake Wallace, who's coaching our slots and receivers right now, who is the all-time leading receiver at Cox history in a single season and career, I believe it is. But he bought in just like he's teaching these guys to buy in. If they don't buy in and block, they're not going to throw the ball to them. It's just as simple as that. And they know that. And that's our key thing is blocking on the perimeter. If we can't block the perimeter, what's the point of throwing the ball? We're going to have to run the ball up the middle if we can't block the perimeter. So they know getting out there and staying on their guy and helping our backs, quarterbacks, or slots, the pitch read, getting out there and making some big plays. They know that they'll get recognized and get the ball to them. I try to make a point to watch that during the games, and it's the heat of the moment thing. But if I see someone blocking their butts off out there, I'm going to try to get the ball to them right away, reward them.
Well, so we're talking with Tyler Noe. He's the head football coach of the Cox Falcons. They take on Lansdowne to open up the season last year, having a pretty successful 8-2 campaign, including those tough wins by 5 over Bayside, 7 over Ocean Lake, 7 over Salem, 3 over Lansdowne, 1 over Kempsville. He can scratch your lottery tickets off too, Ed. It's Tyler Noe with us here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Let's go to the defense. We talked about the offensive side of the ball, some of the key components. Who are some of the players we should watch out for defensively, be it at the line, the linebackers, and DBs?
Definitely want to look for Max Palmerton, our starting middle linebacker. It's going to be his 3rd year starting middle linebacker for us. He's a huge coach on the field. He knows what everybody's doing every single play. We're returning Barrett Glazer out there, cornerback, Gio Simmons, Antoine Eaton. He was out hurt midway through the season last year towards ACL. He's back. he's going to be a huge factor for us back there. Rex Miller at safety, Jacob Palmerton at the other safety. And like I said earlier, Bray Lyons is going to be a force to be reckoned with out there, with opposite of Nasir McCarter, who's getting some looks at some Division III schools right now that really like him. But, our big thing is going to be depth on both sides with the line. We got a lot of guys going both ways, but that's just the nature of the beast at Cox. We don't have the luxury of having 11 on offense, 11 on defense. But in my opinion, and our D coordinator Brian Graham's opinion, and Eric Nichols' opinion, it keeps the guys engaged in the game. When you go both ways, sure, they're going to get tired, but that's on us to figure out which side of the ball we're going to give them a little rest on. And that's that's a feel too, a coach's feel. If we see that they're really pinning their ears back and going to it on defense, we'll give them a breather on offense so that we know that they're big help on defense that game. But otherwise, I mean, our defense, Jawan Mack, our outside linebacker, he's going to be a junior. He really opened some eyes last year. He's probably one of the fastest kids on our team at outside linebacker. He can cover, he can hit. He's not afraid of anything over there. And we got a couple kids coming up from JV who are going to help us at the defensive back position as well. But our linebacker and our front seven is really hopefully going to propel us this year on defense.
Well put. And Ed Cox, if you're looking at them historically, they have not finished under the 500 mark since 2007. It is the longest streak of any school in the entire Beach District.
See, it's like a no-hitter. Why are we going to talk about that, man?
I know. Well, listen, Blake Snell was getting nervous last night when that ball got hit in the ninth inning. He was getting nervous. And there you go, Joe Jones, former Ocean Lakes and Kings Fort coach, chiming in about the triple option, giving you a shout out there. Go ahead, Ed.
No, I was just going to say, be careful, Tyler, because this knucklehead here has jinxed so many coaches over the years. So I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to say nothing about your record either, but
listen, I did that to him when he played Green Run in the game at Scope. I said, I turned to a guy. I said, this is the one where the late great Ashley James hit that shot from half court that sent Green Run to States and Ed team home. I said, 19 of 19 from the it was an amazing shot. Nance Rivers 19 of 19 from the foul line, and then Ed gave me a stare as soon as I said it. And I wasn't the one that was guarding the kid from half court, so hey,
Yeah, he's known as a walking, talking human jinx. So great. I do like your chances. The curse is real. Jack knows the curse is real from Hatfield. And I like your opening part of the schedule. I'm going to do this as a talking head. So
now he's getting ready to jinx you now. Here you go. With a 7-0, 8-0 start, something crazy. Here we go.
No, let's not do that.
I think when they go into Green Run, 2 unbeaten teams are going to play that fourth week. Okay, now I'll get that out of the way because I don't want to be considered the young jinx when I'm usually the guy that helps. Yeah. In all seriousness, though, Tyler, Matt and I, when we always talk to you guys, we talk offense, defense, we really get into it. And then sometimes we forget special teams. Yeah. I got to hear your philosophy on special teams. I think I know what I'm going to hear from you because you kind of mentioned it. You don't have the luxury of a lot of gifted athletic players. What I've always known Cox football over the years is nobody outthinks you, outsmarts you, outplays you because you guys are in every single ball game. The record Matt just gave indicates that. What philosophy on special team, and I'll lead into it with this. I always think this is why I don't coach football. I'm going to play a lot of guys on special team, get them involved, whatever. But I've had football coaches look at me and say, well, that's why you're an idiot. You have to have your best kids on the field all the time, and especially in special teams because it can win you and lose your game in special team. Your philosophy on special teams and how you run it there at Cox.
Yeah, so I was special teams coordinator under Coach Stack for 8 seasons, so I'm really huge on special teams. To me, that's the most fun part about coaching. That's a huge chess match. I used to watch hours of film on special teams so I could get the advantage on people because, like you said, you can win and lose games on special teams. Take us our playoff game last year. I mean, we lost a block field goal. They returned back for a touchdown. So special teams is it's 1/3 of the game. That's why I appreciate our kids all the time. I was just talking to them last week about that, actually, that when I was special teams coordinator, we lost 1 game because of special teams. And I swore to myself I would never let it happen again. We take pride in special teams. Our special teams coordinator, Brandon Smith, knows he's been on the staff for a while. So he knows what my expectation of special teams is. And like you said, you got to get your best athletes out there on special teams, but you also got to fluctuate it with, we have a lot of young guys that can be special teams players to give those starters a breather. And like I tell the JV kids, the younger kids, that juniors that aren't starting offense or defense, that's the best way to get on the field. You go out there at practice and you perform on special teams or scout team, and we see that you want to go down there and hit somebody and you're fast, then we're going to put you on kickoff team to go down there and fly down and get the ball. But kickoff is the big thing, especially in high school. You don't have many kickers like we did last year in Sam Braidwood. They can put the ball in the end zone 59% of the time or whatever it was. So that's when you got to get creative. You got to mortar kick, you got to squib it, you got to put your players in the best position that you possibly can so that there's no kickoff returns. Nothing will break down the team more in high school than a kickoff return for a touchdown. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen us do it to teams. I've seen it happen to us. And that, special teams is just, it's a big component that I don't think many coaches at the high school level really look at. Now I could be wrong on that because I did it for 8 years. I knew how much film I watched and how much heart and effort I put into it. But, our philosophy at Cox is special teams is 1/3 of the game, and we can't take any plays off because, like I said earlier, we're not gonna out athlete teams. We're not gonna be bigger than teams. So it's all, we got to be 100% on all night, or we're gonna struggle.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for coming on the program. All the best to you this coming season, and I'll take off the Diamondbacks World Series appearance hat and put on. Coach gave me this a few years ago, Coach Stack, the Cox Falcons hat. So I'll rep the Cox Falcons for you and wish you all the best, and hopefully the Ed Young.
I get you another hat too when you come around if you want.
Yeah, this is a little old.
That's a little old.
2008ish, but I'll give you a shout out there. I'll wear I'll root for you on the picks when I pick you. Definitely, Ed's going to pick against you.
Us on our pick. You picked against us in the playoff game. Don't think I forgot about that one.
See that? I told you. Yeah. Good job, Tyler.
Okay,
see that?
It's all right.
I picked you. And this knucklehead said, I don't think you're going to be able to get.
He picked you and you lost, so that's what happened. I mean, you don't want Ed picking you. So
I want to give a little credit to Coach Cherry on that play. I mean, they played a heck of a football game. It was hard to beat a team two times in a season, especially 2 weeks in a row. We just came back and they put a heck of a football game plan against us, and he's doing a great job over there at Kingsville, and nothing but respect for him over there. And we had a long conversation after that game on the phone after. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he really is. Well, all the best to you. We'll look forward to seeing you guys this coming season, and we'll keep in touch. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and go Orioles. There you go. That's Tyler Noe with us here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. We thank him for joining us here. I think for some reason maybe his phone might go out there at the end, but we appreciate him coming on with us.
He knew I was going to say, Tyler, you got to put it in 4th and goal. He said, "I'm."
He knew it was coming. He knew it was coming.
He got out of here.
But we appreciate him stopping by. It was, and they're going to be.